Comparison doesn't just steal your joy, it steals your direction. You can be doing the right things, showing up, improving, building habits, staying consistent. Then you see someone else's win, someone else's lifestyle, someone else's highlight, and your progress suddenly feels small. Not because it is small, but because your reference point moved. Comparison is sneaky. It doesn't always show up as envy. It shows up as pressure. It shows up as impatience. It shows up as, I should be further by now. Here's the first idea to remember. You cannot build peace with someone else's ruler. The moment you measure your life with a ruler that was not made for you, you create a feeling of failure even when you are growing. So we're going to rebuild your reference point. We're going to bring your attention back to what you control, your actions, your values, your pace, your season. Because when you measure progress correctly, comparison loses its power and your confidence comes back. One more thing. Comparison is a sign you care about your future. That's not bad. The problem is letting that care turn into self-attack. When you catch yourself comparing, don't argue with your mind. Just label it. I'm using the wrong ruler. Then come back to one controllable step. Here's why comparison feels so powerful. Your brain is built to scan for safety and status. In the past, comparing yourself to a small group helped you survive. It told you if you were accepted, if you were at risk, and if you needed to adapt. But today, your group is a feed with thousands of strangers, different countries, different money, different opportunities, different starting points, different support systems. And your brain still treats it like an urgent scoreboard. That creates constant mental pressure. You don't just see someone's success, you feel a silent message. I'm behind. And because your brain wants certainty, it tries to close that gap immediately, even if rushing would be unhealthy. This is why comparison triggers anxiety, not wisdom. So the goal is not to shame yourself for comparing. The goal is to understand it, then interrupt it. When you can say, my brain is scanning, but this is not my scoreboard, you stop letting the feed define your self-worth. You can even feel it physically, tighter chest, faster thoughts, a subtle urge to prove yourself. That's your nervous system reacting, not your truth speaking. Treat comparison like weather. Notice it, don't become it. Comparison spikes when identity is unclear. When you don't know what you value, what you're building, and what success means for you, you borrow definitions from other people. You borrow their goals. You borrow their pace. You borrow their lifestyle. And borrowed goals create borrowed anxiety, because deep down you can feel it. You're chasing something that doesn't fully fit. That's why comparison is exhausting. It's not only, I want what they have. It's also, I don't even know if I want that, but I feel pressured anyway. When identity is vague, your mind becomes vulnerable to outside benchmarks. So the cure begins with clarity. Not perfect clarity, just enough to anchor you. You need a simple statement of who you are becoming and what matters most in this season. Clarity can be simple. Try this. In this season, I'm building health, stability, and self-respect. Or, in this season, I'm building skill and income. When you have a sentence like that, you stop chasing everything. You start moving with intention, and intention quiets comparison. One practical exercise. Write your 3 values. Then write one action for each. When comparison hits, read those lines. It pulls you back from borrowed goals. Let's name the real damage. Comparison breaks your internal measurement system. Instead of measuring progress against who you were last month, you measure against someone else's highlight reel today. You see outcomes without context. You see confidence without the years of doubt. You see results without the invisible sacrifices. And when you measure yourself with incomplete data, you will always come up short. Comparison also creates a distorted story. If they can do it, I should already be there. But you don't know their starting line. You don't know what they learned off camera. You don't know what help they had. This is why comparison doesn't motivate healthy growth. It creates urgency without direction. It pushes you into self-judgment, not self-leadership. And the more you judge yourself, the harder it becomes to stay consistent. So we need to restore the correct measurement, you versus you. If you want a cleaner lens, compare processes, not outcomes. Ask, what daily habits are they practicing? Then decide if those habits match your life. Outcomes are noisy. Processes are honest. And when you focus on process, you stop feeling inferior and start feeling empowered. Because a process is something you can actually adopt. Take one idea, test it for 2 weeks, keep what works. Here's a truth that changes everything. Confidence is not a personality trait. Confidence is evidence. It's the quiet result of keeping promises to yourself. When you do what you said you'd do, especially on ordinary days, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence. Comparison interrupts that process by making your evidence feel invisible. You could be improving every week, but if you keep checking someone else's chapter 20 while you're on chapter 3, your mind will label your progress as not enough. Then you stop celebrating, you stop noticing growth, and eventually you stop trying. So the shift is simple. Stop chasing confidence as a feeling and start building confidence as proof. Keep small commitments. Track them. Respect them. When you can look back and say, I kept my word, comparison has less room to live. Evidence is stronger than envy. Evidence is stronger than the internet. This is why tracking helps. Not obsessively, just enough to remember. Mark the days you kept your walk. Mark the days you studied. Mark the days you chose patience. Those marks are receipts, and receipts beat feelings. Another trick, keep a before note of how you used to think or act. When you see where you started, growth becomes obvious. Think of your life like a tree. Some trees grow tall fast because conditions are perfect: soil, water, sunlight. Other trees spend a long time growing roots first. From the outside, that looks slow. It looks unimpressive. But underground, the tree is becoming stable. If a young tree compares its height to an older tree, it will feel defective, even though it's growing exactly as it should. Comparison ignores seasons. It ignores starting points. It ignores what's happening beneath the surface. Your slow season might be your root season. It might be the season where you're building discipline, healing, learning, saving money, developing skills, or rebuilding your confidence quietly. Roots are not visible, but they are everything. So when you feel behind, ask a better question. What am I building underneath? Because the tree that survives storms is not the tree that grew fastest. It's the tree that grew deepest. Also, roots are built in darkness. Some of your best growth will happen privately, without applause. If you only feel successful when others can see it, comparison will always win. Respect invisible progress. If you're rebuilding, treat it like training. You wouldn't insult someone in therapy for not sprinting. Respect your rehab. Comparison distorts decisions because it creates urgency without wisdom. You start moving to reduce discomfort, not to build a life that fits you. You take shortcuts. You chase trends. You copy strategies that don't match your personality. You say yes to opportunities that look impressive but drain you. And then you feel tired, not because you're working hard, but because you're working off purpose. This is how comparison steals years. It turns your attention outward and your choices reactive. Instead of, what's right for me, the question becomes, what will make me look caught up? Here's the interruption. When you feel comparison, slow the moment down. Take a breath. Then ask, if no one could see this decision, would I still choose it? That single question filters out performative goals and brings you back to alignment. And remember, the people you compare yourself to might be paying a price you wouldn't want to pay. They might be sacrificing sleep, health, relationships, or peace. You don't know. So don't trade your life for an image. Choose peace as a priority. Ask, will this choice increase my peace or decrease it? Success without peace is expensive. Now the practical reset. Change the measurement. Instead of asking, am I ahead of them? Ask, am I aligned with my direction? Alignment beats comparison every time. Comparison is endless because there will always be someone richer, fitter, younger, louder, faster. Alignment is actionable. It tells you exactly what to do next. So define your direction in simple terms. Choose one priority for this season. Then define one habit and one skill that support it. For example, if your priority is health, your habit might be a daily walk, and your skill might be learning simple nutrition. If your priority is money, your habit might be saving weekly, and your skill might be learning a marketable ability. Then use that as your ruler. When you see someone else's success, you can appreciate it, but you return to your plan. Your plan is your peace. And when you follow your plan consistently, comparison fades because progress becomes undeniable. This is why short horizons help. Instead of measuring your whole life, measure the next week. Can you follow your plan for 7 days? If yes, you're winning. Then repeat. Make your plan visible on your wall or phone. Visible plan equals stable mind. Here's the daily practice that retrains your mind. Once a day, morning or night, answer these 3 prompts. First, what is one way I showed up better than yesterday? Second, what is one thing I'm grateful for in my life right now? Third, what is one small action I will do tomorrow? Keep it small. 10 minutes, 1 page, 1 workout, 1 outreach message, 1 honest conversation. The goal is not intensity. The goal is continuity. This creates a personal scoreboard you control. Over a week, you'll feel calmer. Over a month, you'll feel stronger. Because you stop outsourcing your progress to the internet and start collecting your own evidence. If you want, write these answers in a note on your phone, or in a journal, or on a whiteboard. The format doesn't matter. The practice does. It puts you back in your lane where confidence grows. If you need a quick version during the day, use this 3-step reset. Name 1 win, name 1 gratitude, name 1 next step. It takes 30 seconds. Do it the moment comparison rises. You're not fighting people, you're protecting your attention. Attention is your most valuable asset. Also, reduce triggers. Unfollow accounts that leave you drained.